What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Spawn Mantis 92, for another exciting comic book review. But before I begin today's review, I just want to point out, in my last video when I did Monolith, I had a hard time keeping the book open while I was holding my camera with my other hand, so it was very difficult. So I thought, you know what, from here on out, when it's like a single issue, now unless it's more than one issue, like a whole series, then yeah, I might bring out the table. But usually if it's like a mini series or a one shot, I'm gonna do it like this. But if it's a hardcover, like for example when I did Spawn versus Batman, the compendium books, obviously for those I will get the table and do it on that because it is easier. But since I'm doing a one shot today, I'm doing it like this. So hope you guys understand, because it makes it easier on me, to be honest, and I don't want to tear up the pages while trying to hold it open with one hand. But I'll do my best to show you the comic book. So anyway, let's get started. So today I am going over Spawn's universe. You get a better look, and you can see Monolith in the background. There's She-Spawn. You got Cygor, Gunslinger Spawn. And I just noticed, I didn't even notice that, if you look in the very bottom, there's Clown, and then there's Violator. I just now noticed that. Very cool. That looks like, where my finger's at, I think it's Raven Spawn, but I could be wrong. And I believe this is a Medieval Spawn. But yeah, very cool. This is a one shot. You can tell by looking at this in the corner. And in case you did not watch my Spawn Compendium 7, this story takes place between issues 318 and 319. This is where it all begins, right there between those two issues. So the Compendium 7 tells you, it lets you know. So, but anyway, I'm gonna take this out so we get a closer look. I'll be right back. Alright guys, here it is out of the bag. Very cool, love the cover. And if you flip, you got the advertisement for King Spawn coming out August 2021. Like I said, I've already read the first 6 issues of King Spawn, and I'm loving it. But I haven't gotten any further than that because I still gotta get through King Spawn Compendium 1. So yeah, well, it's a little thick than your average, your single issues. So it's a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit longer than a single issue. Usually it's how it is for a one shot. So you turn the page, you got Cog right there. It's got people who worked on it. The main story, Jim Chung. Forgive if I mispronounce that. And then I guess Brett Booth did Gunslinger, Steven Segovia did Medieval, and Marshall Takara did She-Spawn. And of course, the script and the plot, Tom McFarlane. So, yeah. And he's also the creative director. Your editor is Thomas Healy. So very nice. This came out June of 2021. So very cool. Here is Spawn in action. Okay, that is Al Simmons. Very nice. Love the artwork. And you got Spawn holding up some bad guy on a chain over a building. I mean, just look at the artwork. I love the shading and everything. Very nice. And here you got Mark and Cygor there. Very nice. I like this shot of Spawn and Cygor together. Very cool. My favorite. That's probably my favorite picture right there. I love that. And here is Spawn and Cygor again. And here, I believe this is a Disruptor. They do have an action figure of him for those who are collecting action figures. Very cool. Here you got a closer look of Gunslinger Spawn right there. There's Cog. Another a cool shot of Gunslinger. Very nice. Here you got Plague Spawn and Omega Spawn. We met these guys in the Spawn Compendium 7. Very cool. I believe this is where the character Sin was created, was in this shot. If you remember, I mentioned this when I did a review of Spawn Compendium 7, that Sin was the main antagonist. This might be his first appearance. I'm not 100% sure on that, but here he is. He's coming out of the ocean there. Very cool. And then the story switches over to Medieval Spawn. Very nice. And then you have She Spawn. Again, this is Jessica Priest. Very nice. And then you have I think this is the last story, but then it shifts to Gunslinger. He's putting his face back on, pretty messed up. But I just love this artwork right here. It kind of reminds me of the older Spawn comics, if you ask me. Really, I think this right here is my favorite artwork. I love this artwork. I wish every issue was like this. Yeah, my cat's meowing right now. I do apologize. But yeah. Another cool spot, or cool shot, I should say, of Gunslinger Spawn. You can see it says to be continued. Very cool. Love the artwork. And yeah, and then right here you get an advertisement. It says the year of Spawn. You got King Spawn #1 that's coming out August. Gunslinger Spawn #1 October, and then the Scorch #1 comes out December. I think that was all in 2021. you kind of see it for yourself here. But there you have it, guys. Spawn Universe, not a very long read. Like I said, it's split into different stories. It shows how they come together, you know, the team and all that. So like I said, this is where it all starts. Like the King Spawn, the Gunslinger, the Scorch, it all starts with this. Again, you want to read this between issues 318 and 319. So yeah, but if you have the Compendium 7, it will let you know when to read this. So pick this up if you haven't already. I only paid, now this might have been from a different buyer. I did buy this from Amazon. I think I paid $17, but now it's saying $11.99. Like I said, different buyers. So I'll put a link in the description box. One thing I forgot to mention, this one-shot comic comes in different covers. I think this one, if I'm not mistaken, is the original cover, but you can also get one that's got a She-Spawn on it as well. I don't know if there's a third cover or not, maybe, but I know there is a She-Spawn cover. If you prefer that, your best bet is to go to eBay, because I didn't see it on Amazon, but I will find it on Amazon and put a link in the description box. But if you want the She-Spawn cover, again, you might want to go to eBay. I'm sure there are other sites you can go to if you want that instead, but I don't mind this cover. I mean, it's got She-Spawn right there, but yeah, I like this because you got all the characters. Very cool. So again, if you want the She-Spawn cover, go to eBay. I'll put the link to this version in the description box so you guys can pick up your copy. Not a very long read. It's excellent. Fantastic artwork, especially toward the end with Gunslinger Spawn. Love the artwork, love the story. Okay, again, this is where it all starts. So I recommend reading this before you read King Spawn, Gunslinger, and the Scorch. Okay, read this first. So yeah, you won't regret it. I loved it. So anyway, hope you guys liked today's video, and if you did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.